No one could fail to hear the scream. It was loud enough to rattle the windows, shrill enough to wake the dead. Screams are not unusual in a brothel. On any given evening, a chorus of squeals might be echoing around my house. I have been known to offer up a few myself, some of them even in earnest, for the sake of the man in my bed. A small yelp of encouragement will easily add an extra coin to the agreed sum, if it is made at the right moment and in the proper register. In this elegant mansion on Berwick Street, when they are cloistered away from the world, the gentlemen scream too sometimes, but mostly when they are on the floor below with Emily. They pay a lot to howl with Emily. It was a scream neither of pleasure nor pain that pierced the lazy, sun-filled afternoon. This was a screech of unadulterated triumph, elation, and it could mean only one thing. I leapt from my bed, grabbing my shift and throwing it over my head as I raced to the door. "Sorry, family emergency," I called over my shoulder to the man I had abandoned in my haste. We were not supposed to leave the room until after our guests had gone, and this one had only just arrived. His mouth, which until a second ago had been kissing my neck, was gaping open. "I'll make it up to you, I promise, sweetheart," I said, already halfway out of the door and wiping his saliva from my throat. I met Polly on the landing, similarly unclad, fair curls bobbing about her shoulders, eyes shining. "Do you think it's finally happened?" The merry smile that covered her face mirrored my own. "Let's hope so," I laughed back. The two of us ran down the stairs, crashing into Emily, face like a trout, leather strap in hand, and together we thundered to the hallway. Meg, our maid, and old Sarah the cook peered out from the back parlour. A step inside the front door, barely across the threshold, Mrs. Sarah Farley, mistress of the house, and Ma, to all of us who lived with her, was embracing the finest and most superior of her charges, Miss Lucy Allingham. "Try not to look quite so pleased," I hissed at Polly as we landed at the bottom of the stairs. Lucy emerged from Ma's suffocating hold with an exhilarated sigh that had little to do with being able to breathe again. "Lizzie?" She held out a regal hand, as if she expected me to kiss it. "Polly, Emily, my darlings, I have news." "Really?" said Emily. "We would never have guessed." I dug Emily in the ribs. None of us had been spoken to with such affection before, but Lucy was too caught up by her own success to notice Emily's sarcasm. "My darlings," she said again, taking a deep breath, "I'm leaving Berwick Street. Mr. Merrick has asked me to join him." There was a collective silence as we all tried to think of the correct response to such news. "How lovely for you," was the best I could manage. "We're all delighted, aren't we?" "Delighted," said Polly, now in danger of collapsing into laughter. "Of course," said Emily. Mr. Richard Merrick was one of Lucy's rich lovers, but of all the men she had kept dangling over the last few months, he was undoubtedly the dullest man in London, or perhaps even the world. We knew that Mr. Merrick was dull because we had met him, but he had made her an offer, and her dream of being the mistress of one man, one very rich man, had come true. She was ecstatic. Ma, who had negotiated this contract and taken a healthy fee for her services, was similarly pleased. She might be losing Lucy, who brought a reasonable income into her house, but she was also about to rid herself of a whiny and peevish baggage with whom she had lately begun to lose patience. She would replace her with someone more biddable quickly enough, and in the meantime her strong-box would be significantly heavier with coin. "Where will you live?" I asked. "When are you leaving?" Emily asked at the same moment.